okay, you've been in the dating scene for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever you've been in the dating scene, why haven't you found that long-term relationship or that wife, so on and so forth? And so I'm going to speak from experience and from firsthand accounts of friends that I know, and a lot of us are running into the same thing, and it's going across the board because I see a lot of you guys putting stuff out online, writing comments, maybe say, hey, I did everything right, I'm the 6'6s, you've got the 600 horsepower supercar, you've got the six-pack, you've got maybe you make six figures, you have all these things, and it never has really kind of lined up hole in hole. So what I've noticed is obviously, like, a lot of the women have become more and more and more masculine. Now, part of that, they're making more money, or they're doing this and that, and they have like more control over their life, to a certain extent, is gonna allow them to level up and get with a higher tier male, or so they feel. Some of that is true, and I understand that. Like, let's say if they're in the gym, they're getting in shape, they're looking for a guy who's in shape, who's jacked. Now, there's a lot of these women who are just completely delusional, where they're way overweight and they still think that they deserve some jacked dude with a six-pack and all this. Well, so a lot of their standards are just completely misaligned, and I can't tell you the amount of chicks who are 22, 23, 24, 25, and they're just wandering around there aimlessly. And if you're connected to them, whether it be through Instagram, Snapchat, they can't figure it out. They can't play the part. That's all they had to do, is they had to just play a part. You ask them out on a date, you ask them to hang out, you ask them to go do this, do that. Excuses, 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 excuse city, guys. And where are those excuses coming from a lot of times? A lot of times it's from their own insecurities. They're actually scared to meet you because you've built up this persona that you're a boss. Goes unsaid. So what happens a lot of times with some of these girls, some of them do have this complex where they're afraid to meet you. They don't want to meet in a hot tub. They don't want to meet at the beach because they're scared to be seen in a bathing suit. They know they're not on point. They know they're not what they presented on their Instagram, and so they're intimidated by you. Then there's this other kind of faction of girls who think they're way better than you. You're competing with guys who are in the MLB. You're competing with guys who maybe have a newer supercar. Maybe you're competing with a guy who's in the NBA, or a quarterback at USC, or a movie star. It's all competition, guys. So the thing is, what a lot of older generations don't understand is there is this complete misalignment on expectations of what the woman wants and what the man wants. And it should be fairly easy, let's say, as an adult, to kind of break that down. If someone's like, yeah, I want to have kids, then okay, that's a distinguishing factor. I want this and that quality for this woman and stuff like that. It shouldn't be this hard, but women are making so many excuses all the time. And the reason I place the blame more on the women is because it's 100 times easier to get a date or to have sex with a man than it is for a man to have sex or to get a date with a woman. It is so much harder. So much harder. You have to put in all types of work, and we're essentially spending all of our time and all of our energy to try to garner women, to try to attract women, to keep women close to us. We're spending all our time. All a woman has to do is stay fairly fit, be nice, and guys are just coming at you, coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. And when women are dismissing so many of those guys over and over and over again, just laughing at them like they're some kind of joke, you would think you were 4'10", 386 pounds with no teeth, the way some of these women act. So what is your equivalent? Well, I can tell you this right now. If you're in your 20s or 30s and you're jacked and you have a six-pack and you're zooming around in a supercar, you don't deserve to be with an overweight chick that, has two baby daddies, and has 3 kids by 2 different baby daddies. That's just not that's obvious, but that's the situation a lot of guys are falling into. And then it's like, well, I mean, it's free pizza here. I mean, it's Little Caesars. I wouldn't buy it, but it's free pizza. I mean, I guess, okay, I'll slam it out. This can become cumbersome because if you say, okay, no more of that, no more of that, no more bottom feeding, no more kind of stooping down, and you're just going to focus on, let's say, 21 to 25 year olds, 21 to 27 year olds, or whatever, of chicks that want to have kids and that have, you know, things going for them or something like that. They got a good look and all that kind of stuff. Everybody is going after them, and their standards are partially out of whack. So it ends up being the situation where men are losing more and more and more traction. So in my opinion, 85 to 95% of the single men that are in their 20s and 30s, they really should look internationally. And I hate to say that because you think, okay, you're going to have to location max maybe within the United States. And I've mentioned this before in some of my videos that Phoenix and Dallas seem to be kind of two like solid spots to potentially go. LA scene being the worst, and Miami and Fort Lauderdale second worst for it. But Dallas, Phoenix, but again, in those locations you're going to lose traction as well because there's so many options, and the armies and armies and armies of hot women that I see on Instagram that are single. They're maybe talking to some guys, or here, they're there, they're all over the place. They never seem to be really with a man. They're never able to take a man's lead. But if, like, they can't take a man's lead, but if the man tells them to go do something, whether it's to get this shot or that shot or vote this way or vote that way, then they're doing that. It's very strange to me. Now, that being said, I want to give you guys a little bit of hope. At the end of the day, it's, you know, I think it's better for you to jump internationally sooner than later. Oftentimes, let's say if guys jumped international in their 50s or 60s, they had lost more traction than if you were in your 20s and 30s and could present this persona that women could have genuine attraction to, and they would, you know, sit there and wisen up very quick and be like, hey, this guy looks like a boss. I want to be around this guy. Women here, it's just they've gotten so into I don't need no man, I don't need no man, I don't need no man. But obviously once something breaks, are they able to fix it themselves? Most likely not. They're going to have a man do whatever, fix their car, hang some drywall, you know, fix the garage door, so on and so forth. So that being said, guys, keep your head up, keep on your grind, and you're going to have to cast a large net. There's just no other way. And this is coming from someone with experience, and a lot of us didn't intend on really still being out there. It should not be this hard, but this is the modern dating scene in the US and Canada, and also the UK and Australia and those kind of places as well, it seems. So all the first world countries just kind of screwed. Please like this video, and please subscribe, and also leave a comment below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that, about going international when you're in your 20s or 30s. See you guys.